Of course I did.
No, you did not.
How could I not know the world-famous Guy Fieri?
You don't watch cooking shows. You didn't know. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Ravens fall to 1-4. A Cardinal makes a Cardinal error, and the Yankees are in a hole. But we begin today with the NFL and the last two unbeaten teams, Buffalo and Philadelphia, going down to defeat. Wilbon, I am incredulous you actually had this.
Ding, 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 ding.
The Eagles lost to Denver, which scored the last 18 points of the game, and the Bills lost to New England, who got a terrific performance out of Drake May. Wilbon, what do these results say about any of the teams involved?
Well, the first two teams, the teams that people presumed were going to win these games, the Eagles and Buffalo, nobody's going undefeated. There's no 72 Dolphins in this group. You don't look at any team that has played through 4 weeks of the season and go, aha, they're the 85 Bears or the 72 Dolphins or the one-loss 49ers teams with Joe Montana. You don't. They're not that great. So people need to stop.
Or the Patriots some years back.
Or the Patriots that went 18 and or 17 or lost the last. They're not that. So they're going to lose. Not only going to lose yesterday, they're all going to lose 2 or 3 more times at least. Even the best teams, and I still think the Eagles are among that. The Eagles, though, I will say this. So let's narrow this down. What does this say about any one of the teams specifically? The Eagles, what are they doing? Throwing the ball every down, dropping back 40 times while calling 11 running plays, like one designed rushing play in the second half while throwing the ball 20 or more. No. What are they doing? And so coaches get so fancy, and sometimes you get a new play caller, and I wonder if Sirianni just doesn't say to this guy in the middle of the week, step over, I'll call the plays. So the Eagles, do I think something major is wrong with the Eagles or Saquon Barkley? No, it's being overstated by everybody who talks about football today. Is being overstated. What's wrong with the Eagles? They're not on the same page. They'll be fine.
Okay. So both of these teams lost at home, which really surprised me. And I will add parenthetically here, did not surprise me as much as Washington going to Los Angeles and falling behind 10-0 to the Chargers. Yeah, and then scoring the last 20. I was stunned because I thought after the Chargers had lost to the Giants, they'd go back home and they win this game comfortably. So that surprised me the most. But let me get to the Bills.
Billy and the Bills.
Yeah, Bills and the Eagles right here. Look, I agree with you that no team is going through undefeated. Not through 17 games. No. That's not going to happen. So the takeaway for me is that we don't have a great team out there right now. Maybe we do, and that team has yet to unveil itself to us because this is really only like the end of Act 1 in the season so far. But I will say this, the teams that beat them, Denver and New England, they are in a resurgent mode now because they hired very good coaches. They hired Sean Payton and Mike Vrabel. And they have, right now, Bo Nix is learning how to be a good quarterback. Yeah. Drake May is learning how to be a good quarterback. Jayden Daniels learning how to be a great quarterback. You don't have a good quarterback, you cannot win in this league. The Saints, the Giants, the Jets, right now, the Bengals, the Browns, they can't win in this league. So, Mike, if you ask me who's the MVP right now, it's only 5 weeks. Who's the MVP right now? My list is 3. Okay. My list is Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott.
What do I think wrong with Dak is I just watched Dak in person throw 3 picks in a game 2 weeks ago.
He's got to score 40 for them to win. I know, but
it's overstated. He beat the Jets yesterday.
I understand. So he was stink. But I think those guys have been really good.
He's been really good. I just watched him throw 3 picks in a game to lose, to get crushed. So, but just let's calm. Let's slow it down a little bit. We have other losses to discuss, real bad ones. The Ravens fell to 1-4. 1-4 after getting blasted by the Texans. The Cardinals had a win over the Titans in the bag until dude just tosses the game away. The Raiders barely showed a pulse against the Colts. The Dolphins blew a 17-0 lead to the Panthers. And the Giants turned the ball over 5 straight times while falling to the Saints. Meanwhile, your Jets are now 0-5 after losing to those Cowboys. Right. Worst loss yesterday was what?
Okay, so I'm tempted because you have a house in Scottsdale to say that it's the Arizona Cardinals.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they are at home. They are up, 21-3 against a winless team, and they lose 22-21, all because your running back Demercado, I think is his name, a 72-yard run out of scrimmage, but he doesn't hold the ball going across the goal line. He flips it. They lose that. They'd have been up 22 in the fourth, and they would not have lost that. And as a result, they lost that. They lost that game.
To fall to 2-3, as opposed to being 3-2 on a week that the 49ers win improbably, you need to keep pace.
That's right.
They just
but I'm not going to say that because I honestly believe that the worst loss by far is the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are 1-4 in the four losses. I'll get to that. Okay. He doesn't play defense, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. So that's what I'll end up saying. So in those four losses, they've given up 160 points, at 40 points a game. That defense, that great historic defense, that's down the drain at the moment.
Not here.
They have imploded. All right, they gave up 44 points to the Texans, who were averaging 16 a game. They gave up 44. So as we say in French, at the moment, the Ravens c'est mort. Okay, it's not happening for them. It's not happening for them.
Look, the Ravens that's bad, right? And that defense is non-existent.
What's
for a
worse?
Franchise.
What's worse?
The Cardinals. The game's over. The game's won. You're playing a winless team. You're at home. The game's over, dude. Just because everybody's got to do this now. Let me.
I would have cut him.
Let me go straight to that.
Last night.
Look, I saw this the first time it happened in modern memory. Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Texas Stadium. I was there watching it.
I think I was.
And it was so stunning, you couldn't believe it in real time. And Deshaun Jackson went on to have a great career. And
yeah.
Okay. But then we just saw this last week. We see it last week when a dude on the Colts, he just sort of gives it up. He's playing with the balls. He crosses the goes to playing with his food. I would cut people.
Yeah.
You are so if you're not selfish, you're so self-centered. The celebration is more important to you than winning the damn game. Get out. Yeah. I would throw people out.
The other games were fairly predictable. The Giants stink. Jackson Dart is a work in progress.
You mean he's not as great as they had him being after week one?
It's a work in progress, like J.J. McCarthy. Everything is a work in progress. So they lost to a winless team, but nobody is surprised. Not really surprised on that. The Jets are even worse.
The Jets are irrelevant.
Their rookie coach is now 0-5. No Jet coach has ever been 0-5 before. I don't know if he gets another year. No. The guy in Miami, McDaniel, they stink right now. That's a terrible loss. The sands in the hourglass are running out on him. Right. And the Raiders, they're not any good. At least they lost to a fairly decent team. The Colts are a fairly decent team.
Not used to being one.
Not working. Let's move to playoff baseball. The Yankees, who had given up 10 runs to Toronto in the first game, gave up 13 runs in the second game. They are limping back to New York now. The Detroit Tigers were beaten late by Seattle yesterday. That series now tied at 1. Wilbon, what was your biggest takeaway from the first 4 games in the American League Division Series?
Max Fried getting bounced. That's it. That's all. I don't want to overstate this because I think the Yankees, I don't want to sound like Aaron Boone's twin, but I believe the Yankees can come back and win Game 3 in Ruth's house, and they can be fun. We got a series. It's best 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
So I believe that can happen. I sort of believe it will happen. I'm not saying I got the Yankees winning the series. I'm saying the Yankees are going to win Game 3, and then we'll see. Mm-hmm. But Fried getting nicked. That's what, because if that doesn't happen, if that game goes according to form, that series is also 1-1, just like Detroit-Seattle, which was a tremendous game.
So I watched that game, the Yankee game. There was a look on Fried's face. He was forlorn.
Yeah.
He did not know what was happening to him. Yeah. Nothing he threw was reaching its intended target. I have to be honest here, I thought the Tigers were going to win.
I did too.
Yesterday.
I did too.
They had Tarek Skubal on the mound. The last time we saw him,
gave up 4 or 5 hits.
The last time we saw him, he had 14 strikeouts. He ends up 7 innings. He has 2 solo home runs to Polanco, right?
Yeah.
But still, he only gives up 2, and he strikes out 7, he strikes
hits.
out 9, something like that. A very credible
really
performance.
Good, not great, yeah.
But the pitching staff on the other side limits the Tigers to just 3 hits. And then when the Tigers need relief, and they go to the bullpen, they bring out Kyle Finnegan, who I watched for years in Washington, and it doesn't surprise me at all that 3 hits later, that game was over. Didn't surprise me.
Yeah, but look, I think...
At least that's a competitive series. Yankee series not yet competitive.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I just think there's a lot of drama to go in both those series. And by the way,
The Yankees have given up over 20 runs. You think they get back home because why? Because they're 4-2 against Toronto in Yankee Stadium?
They're going to win Game 3.
Okay, but if it goes back to Toronto, where it's rain and runs, what do you think is going to happen?
Okay,
there?
but let's see how it does if it does. I just think that the Yankees can settle this. I like Boone's approach. I like him
By the way,
saying, so what?
Have you ever heard of this guy, Yasavage? Had you heard of him?
I'd heard of him, but I didn't know he was that good.
5 1/3 of no hits and 11 Ks. I had not heard of Schlittler before, and I had not heard of Yasavage.
They're going to have to deal with Schlittler.
Oh, yeah,
he's okay. He Game 4, right?
Okay, but you don't compare him to Jackson Dart. In other words, you don't think that was a one shot and then he regressed.
What he did, when you're a pitcher and you've got the ball in your hand, you're in control of that game. I guess a quarterback is as well. No, I don't have him being Jackson Dart going 4 turnovers.
Let's take a break. Coming up, Penn State fell to UCLA, but was that the most compelling result of the college football weekend?
Wow.
Spoiler alert.
Wow. Phil's, Cubs, who's going to even their divisional series tonight if either one of them?
Time to find out what is vexing our viewers in mail time. Let me see what's first.
Mail time? How about that? A little alliteration.
Here we go. Go to the glasses.
All right.
Which team is more likely to even their series tonight, the Phillies or the Cubs?
I mean, the Phillies in that lineup, you know, and they led 3-0.
Better than San Diego's lineup, isn't it?
And they're home. They're at home. Home field in baseball is not like home field in football or the NBA. It isn't. I guess my natural inclination with Luzardo pitching is to say Philadelphia.
What about your team?
Well, wait a minute. I said
you've rooted your whole life for the Cubs.
The Cubs are going to win tonight.
Okay, well.
In the last 2 seasons, we have had the edge on the Cheeseheads, including 7-6 this year, even though they won the division by 5 games.
Yeah.
Craig Counsell made a big mistake trotting our all-star out there on short rest to pitch Game 1. It's just Matthew Boyd. There's no point in doing that. Just own it. He didn't own it. I don't like that, but I'm a Counsell guy. I believe in playing against this old team, there's a trick, at least a couple of aces up his sleeve. I believe the Cubs with Imanaga will bounce back tonight, even though Imanaga's given up a lot of runs in Milwaukee. I believe the Cubs and Phillies will even their series.
So I wish you luck tonight.
Thank you.
You've been talking about Imanaga all year.
Yes, I have.
Yes, the Brewers have been a better team. They won 5 more games.
Yeah.
But we all root for a competitive series. I just want to talk briefly about the Phillies, who I think will win, the Phillies and the Dodgers. Actually, I want to talk about Shohei Ohtani and pitching. Now, the Phillies got to him in 1 inning. Their right-handed batters took him to right field. They got 3 runs off him.
Yeah.
But his line at the end was 6 innings with 9 strikeouts. And to me, I haven't seen him pitch really for the Dodgers. It's been years since I've seen him pitch. I think of him as a hitter and just a hitter. And when I saw him pitch, I was actually amazed at how good he was. How much the ball breaks. How much the ball breaks. And you know what? And you know what I'd like to see as well? They who did they go to? They went to Glasnow out of the bullpen. I'd like to see them go to Kershaw
there's a reason
out of the
bullpen. They can't do it. You know why?
No.
I'm convinced. I told you this.
Why?
Because I believe Kershaw's going to start maybe Game 4.
Oh, okay.
I believe
Last one.
I mean, who'd you rather have start for you if you had to go to that game?
He finished 11-2 this year, so I'd rather have him start.
Okay, we agree on that. Okay. College football time.
Yeah.
What was the most compelling result of the college football weekend?
Okay. The most compelling result was Penn State losing to a winless UCLA team, a winless team, a team that fired its coach 2 weeks ago, a team that had gotten to this point in 4 games, 57 points, and they got 42 on Penn State. Penn State was number 2 in the country a couple of weeks ago, and now they are MIA. Yeah. You don't know where they are. We knew that James Franklin,
Texas.
well, I'll get to them in a second.
Okay.
We knew James Franklin would lose to good teams, didn't know he'd also lose to bad teams. And yes, let's make room for Texas. The preseason number 1, also MIA, send out a search party. They lose to Florida, the most disappointing team in the country until this game, had 1 win against LIU. I grew up on Long Island. I didn't know that LIU even had a football team. And
the Blackbirds?
They were the Blackbirds. And one small, only basketball, one small other thing. Bill Belichick down to Clemson.
That's small.
Wait,